once, these big events, these big moments. So I guess what are the emotions now that you do have a spot on this historic UFC 300?
Feeling great. UFC 300, great card, great opponent. I think it's a good opportunity for me, so I'm just honored to be here.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I think you guys were the last fight added to this card. So were you expecting to be on that card, or was it a surprise when they called you?
No, it was a surprise. I was expecting to fight in UFC 301 in Brazil, or even on the pay-per-view in London, on Europe. I was expecting that because that would make sense. But guess what? They call me and I'm here.
Is this the better card to be on for you, 300 rather than those two other ones?
Definitely is a card that I want to be. Of course, UFC 300 on the prelims, several champions face each other, like Davison Figueiredo and Cody Garbrandt, and I'm fighting on the same card. I wish it was on the main event. I wish it was on the main card, but guess what? It is what it is.
And what do you make of Jalin as an opponent? Because obviously, I think we kind of expected you'd be fighting Paddy because you guys were talking back and forth. So when they came with Jalin, what went through your mind?
Man, I don't. Of course, I wanted Paddy because on the paper it was the easiest fight, the easiest fight, and I would get more people know him. So that's what it's about. But at the same time, I don't choose my opponents, and I don't have time to sit and wait, so I'm 34 years old, I have to fight, I have to get money, I want money, UFC 300, which card would be better to get money? Of course, Dana White gonna raise the bonus, so I want the bonus too, and let's go. I think it's a good fight for me, to be honest. Jalin Turner is tough, but I'm better than him.
Did you have to bring anyone to train with, considering how tall he was and how long he is?
Yes, I was training with some 170 guys, tall guys, strikers, very hard to take down, and I would be ready.
And I know you like to be critical sometimes of certain main events in the Apex and everything, but for this pay-per-view, can I get your thoughts on the main event between Alex and Jamal and the BMF fight between Justin and Max?
When they first started to make the card, I was talking a lot of shit about the card, especially because I wanted to see like John Jones, Conor McGregor, but I think Alex Pereira, he's becoming a star in UFC, and I think in the end of the day, the card could not get any better, and especially for Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje, that's going to be a banger, that's going to be an amazing fight, and I'm glad that I will fight and then watch the fights.
Actually, last one for me. Obviously, after your fights, you call Moicano wants money. There's a lot of competition for these bonuses on this card. So I guess how do you separate yourself? How do you win on Saturday?
To be really completely honest with you, I don't think I'm going to get the bonus. Even if I finish him, we have 13 fights, 12 champions, and it's going to be tough to have a fight better than Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje, or Sarukian and Charles Oliveira, or Alex Pereira. I think that the card will have a lot of finishes. So to be completely honest with you, I just want to get the W. I want to finish Jalin Turner and move on.
Going off of that with the bonuses right here, I'm just curious, do you think that Dana should do something special for this card? Maybe give everybody who finishes the bonus?
100%. He should do that in every card. It's hard to get a finish on UFC, and I think if you do, you should get more money. But guess what? I don't make the business. I am just an employee. So whatever they do, I agree with.
Back here, Renato. Speaking of money, I know you have your YouTube channel. You have a ton of things going on outside of fighting. You have the Home of Fight podcast now. So I'm curious, what do you think are some of the best side hustles for MMA fighters?
I think talk about of MMA is easy because I have been training since I started training Jiu-Jitsu when I was 10, so I know the sport. I compete professional MMA since 2011, so I have been in the game for a long time. But the problem is some fighters, they are dumb. I don't know if you guys know, but some fighters, and I don't even speak English, but I am trying, but some fighters, they do speak English, but they are dumb, or sometimes they are lazy. But guess what? We don't have much time on this game. 15 years, and I'm glad that you say huge shout out to my channel, Money Moicano channel, and huge shout out to the podcast, Show Me the Money. Me, Gilbert Burns, and Maddie, we're doing a great work, so if you guys want to check it out, great podcast. But to answer you, depends on what you like to do. I like to talk shit, I like to, to make some money, so what's better to do that? What's better than do a podcast?
Hey, Renato, right here. You mentioned your YouTube channel. You've really connected with a lot of fans and become a lot more popular, but I know you've also taken a liking to MMA Guru. How much have you learned from him, and how much has that sort of made up your channel?
At the beginning, I didn't know MMA Guru. I wasn't on the Twitch, trying to stream in some games, especially because I got injured. My knee was hurt. And then everybody on the chat was saying, hey, you have to see MMA Guru react to a video. And then I watched a video of him live talking about MMA, and I did my point, and I called him several words, and then after that, I started to watch his content, and then I moved to YouTube. And when I did a video about fighters, he made a shootout, like he sent people to my live and to my videos. And that helps my channel a lot. I think one thing people are not realizing that today is a new game, completely different. You see guys that don't have any background on journalism, or they just are on literally their mom's basement, but they can connect with the public, and they do a great job because they can. Imagine that we're doing this press conference right now, and now you guys have to edit and have to work, and that's very hard. But for a guy on YouTube, he just take the video and talk shit about fighters and give his opinion. So I think YouTube is going to get much more popular in the next couple of years. And to be completely honest, he's doing a great job. You like him or not, everybody's talking about him.
Is that something you'd want to do after your career's done, is do that full time, is just do YouTube commentary?
I want money.
Yeah.
If I make money on YouTube, that's good. If not, I will try something else. But of course, I like to talk about MMA. It's easy for me to do the videos. I like to connect with the fans, and I like the fans like you say, recognize me a little bit more. And I think it's a good situation.
And just last one for me, a win over Jalin, especially a finish. Where does that put you in the division? Because Jalin's, fought some really good opponents, got some good wins.
He's very good. But I will beat him on Saturday, and I will be on the top 10. And then we'll see. I don't have an opponent in mind right now, but definitely I want to fight somebody on the top 10. I want to get closer to the title, and I want more money.
Renato, right over here. Renato, big press conference tomorrow. A lot of fans love listening to you talk. Do you have anything special planned when you get on the mic tomorrow?
Not really. I never try to plan anything. I have my principles. I have something that sometimes I want to talk about, and what I want to talk about, maybe tomorrow, maybe on the fight day, is you have to get ownership of your life. Because back in the day, I used to blame other people for my faults. I used to give excuses for everything. Nowadays, this has changed my life, to be accountable of my actions. If I do something go wrong, that's my problem. If I do something go right, that's my actions too. So I wish people nowadays would care more about the accountability. I think that's my message.
And then one more question to talk about what Bree brought up. You have your podcast, Show Me the Money, with Matt and Gilbert. Can you talk a little bit about what you guys do talk about?
We talk about money and MMA, and we bring some fighters to do the podcast. We did with Jamal Hill, and it's a very good show. And if you are a degenerate that loves gambling, Maddie, he's a gambler, and he's doing a good job. On the other day, he hit a 46,000 parlay with $1,000. So motherfucker is making money. And if you like to your opinions about that, watch the show. It's a very good show. And like the first video, we got almost 30K views like on the first video. And I think this podcast will be one of the biggest podcasts in MMA. We still need a lot of content in MMA, not generic stuff, like good stuff, good productions. And we're doing that on Show Me the Money. And Home of Fighting is doing a great job too. So it's a win-win situation for fighters.
Just a quick one right here. When you talk about MMA and fights with Gilbert and other people like that, you kind of see another perspective that you might have not seen when you're in the cage. You get to learn a bit more just breaking down fights.
Yeah, it's different because when you're talking about MMA against a guy that doesn't do MMA or the fighter, you can see different opinions, and definitely that changed my mind in couple fights, and especially if you're talking with a guy that like to bet. It's not like a fighter because let's say Armand Sarukian and Charles Oliveira, if I am giving my prediction, I will try to do like on the technical aspect, right? I will say he's good there, he's good here, and I think one on another will win. But when the guy likes to bet, he do like props and finishes on the second round and crazy stuff that I don't like. So just remember, I don't bet. I just go to the podcast and I gave my opinion about fight.